Great great rise, great rise, beloveds. You know who this is. You know what it is. It's your girl, Queen Goddess, the King Advocate, and it is Melanated Monday. So I'm gonna give you all time to get in here so we can have a quick, it probably really this time, it probably really will not be a full hour um, show. I just want to say what I was on my heart to say and get out of here. It's probably not going to be a real long live show tonight. But nonetheless, it's important. I was called to, I guess, to say some things directly to the brothers. So it's on my heart. So I need to do that, and I need to call some attention to some of our women as well. What's going on, D Mays? Thank you, loved one, for being here. I so appreciate you. So appreciate you. So hopefully folks will get on in here so we can get in and get out. Like I said, this is probably not going to be a full 1 hour show. This is not particularly a topic per se as it normally is, but it's something that needs to be said. So I guess it is a topic. It needs to be discussed. Okay, so I'm gonna do some things. I'm gonna say some things. I'm gonna open the floor up. I can dig it. I can dig it. So if you don't stay, I understand. Just know this, the overall gist of this particular episode, if you will, is I appreciate you. Okay, I appreciate you. I overstand. I understand. I apologize where apologies need to be given, and I got you. Okay, that's the overall gist of it all. So if you need to get some rest, I get it. You showed up. That's all I can ask. Okay, you showed up. Get some rest. I get it. I know that you do, and I appreciate you for that. So if you need to get some rest, loved one. You can always do the replay. Okay, I shan't be mad. Get you some rest. But I appreciate you for showing up. So I'm gonna give the rest of our folk time to get in here. Hopefully they'll get in here soon so I can say what needs to be said and get on. Get some rest as well. Um, that's it. That's it. So perhaps I'll be quiet for a moment. No, I won't. I will share this news because it is important that okay, loved one. Well, the topic is just that I have messages for you all, for the black men in particular. Is some things that need to be addressed. Some things that need to be addressed about you, and women need to hear it. So this may be a time for you all to sound off about what's happening with you as men because they need to be addressed. There's certain things that haven't been talked about, certain things that are constantly ignored that need not be ignored. They need to be fixed. So I'm gonna bring them up. What's going on, Michael Williams? Thank you, loved one, for being here. I so appreciate you, darling. Hopefully you can stay with me for the duration. I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible and to the point. Sorry about that. Quick as possible and to the point. Say what needs to be said and get on. If you all feel a need that you might want to call in and share, ask a question or whatever, you may do so. The number is 770-906-5271, 770-906-5271. They got like one more minute, boo. One. And I'm just gonna start talking, and whoever show up, they show up while I'm talking. It was on my heart. I always meditate first before I come on live and see what it is that I need to say. If there's nothing, then I don't come on here. Y'all know that about me. So they got about 30 seconds and I'm gonna just go on in. I'm gonna start. But since you are here, I will make this known because it's also part of what I will be talking about. I have officially created On Purpose with Purpose as a nonprofit organization. That's official. It is also officially trademarked. Okay. While we're waiting for folks to get in here, um, the nonprofit is based on providing resources for Black men and Black youth and male females as well, the resources needed to um, become healthy emotionally and spiritually. So there a lot of things are involved with that, but that's the gist of it. I don't want to go into too many details, but that's the gist of it. There will be an event being held for it probably in May. That'll be my first one. Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get started. And like I said, people when they show up, they show up. If they don't, they don't. Whoever's here is supposed to hear it, and whoever's not will catch it eventually. So anyway, again, tonight it was just a message to the Black or messages to the Black men. What made me do this today? Like I said, I always meditate first on what it is I need to speak about. I was toying with it back and forth. I wanted to do something else. I was like, you're gonna do this right here. I'm watching the a lot more pop-ups, if you will, of people trying to have shows about relationships or shows that deal with mental health in regards to Black men in particular. This is not so much just about mental health as it is the emotional health. And that is one of the things that people don't deal with. As the ARC, that is what I always tell you I am, the ARC, the Accountability Relationship Counselor. I offer services that help people get a true understanding of what their trauma is and help them heal through it, not just get over it or deal with it, but how to heal through it. And there's a great and growing need for the emotional health, the spiritual health of Black men to be addressed because of so many things that you all are forced to deal with on a daily basis, and you don't speak about it, and most people don't bother to ask because it's either assumed that it's okay because you carry yourself as if it's okay. You don't speak about it. So if you don't speak about it, then it doesn't become a conversation. Where you know what we do here. We talk about things that people don't talk about. We address things that need to be addressed that are considered to be taboo, and your emotional health is vital. Women have no issue with expressing themselves emotionally, be it in anger, joy, confusion, frustration, love, whatever it is. We have no problem expressing that. Men, on the other hand, have been taught not to have them, not to express them if they have them, not to acknowledge them at all, and certainly not to talk about them. It exactly. Exactly. But in this case, the whole F your feelings has been taught in the worst way. It's been taught incorrectly. You have been taught to literally fuck yours, to literally not have any, to not acknowledge them at all. Um, and you've been taught it since you were children. You have been taught as little men not to cry. Little boys, men, males don't cry. Man up, tough it up, whatever the case is, you'll be all right. Quit being a punk, whatever. You all have been taught these things. So what hasn't been taken into consideration is what happens when you witness or become a participant unwillingly in something that is traumatic, something that is in your psyche, something that your eyes cannot unsee, something that your ears cannot unhear, something that your mind cannot forget. What happens to you? Especially when you have to take on and when you have to remember, I'm a man, I'm a male, I'm not supposed to have feelings, I'm not supposed to have emotions, I'm not supposed to express this, I'm not supposed to do whatever. Society doesn't accept the fact that I just might want to cry because I'm remembering some trauma that I saw or that I experienced, I might want to scream out in frustration because I can't get rid of all of the things that are in my head. I have no outlet for. What happens though? You know what I'm saying? Like these are the things that we don't talk about, things that we don't question. We don't have conversations about them. And we have to acknowledge that they exist. Just because you don't speak it out of your mouth doesn't mean that you're not experiencing them. Just because you don't say, I'm hurt, doesn't mean you don't experience hurt. Just because you may not say, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm disappointed, I'm confused, doesn't mean you're not experiencing them. And as a woman, I hear it all the time from other women who don't believe, don't understand, don't recognize that you all have the same emotions that we have. You all experience trauma just like we do. You all are just told that you're not allowed to express them. You're not allowed to heal. Society has said not only are you not allowed to experience them, you're not allowed to acknowledge them, you're not allowed to speak on them, you're not allowed to heal from it. What's going on, Cedric? Thanks for being here, love. I appreciate you. You're not allowed to heal. And that's unfair. So you have all of these things going on in your mind, in your subconscious, in your conscious, in your mid-conscious, whatever, all these things going on and nowhere to free them. So when it gets to a point of overwhelming frustration for you, it comes out in anger. It comes out in abuse. It comes out in overly active sexual activities. It comes out in the fact that you are either in the ground or in jail. It comes out that you are disassociated with your folks. Um, it just comes out in a very negative way. It comes out as a stereotype that you are um, a criminal waiting to happen, that you are a shiftless person. You have no direction. You don't want nothing in life. It comes out in that way. And then you get dealt with on top of everything else that you're dealing with. You get dealt with on that stereotype that is created for the simple fact, again, that you're not given permission to just be. So many men are dealing with depression, anxiety. So many men have made attempts or even had the thoughts of suicide, any type of escapism, be it with alcohol, drugs, sex, physical abuse, whatever. So many of you. And it's not being addressed because we have allowed society to dictate to us how we are supposed to engage with you, how we are supposed to accept your emotional state, how we are supposed to allow you to heal. Like there's a certain way that we will accept you being okay. But if you got to raise your voice, that's not acceptable. If you got to scream out, it's not acceptable. If you have to cry, it's not acceptable. If you have to ball up like a baby, it's not acceptable. Well, then what the hell is acceptable? What society says is acceptable is anything that's going to cause you to either be in the ground or behind the bars. That's what society says is acceptable. Oh, you mad? I got someplace for you to be. Or you can be in an institution for the mentally insane. Those are your three options. In the ground, institutional, it's still institutionalized. So you're either in the ground, you in an institution for the mentally insane, or you in jail. So you could be in jail and end up in the institution for the mentally insane. So it's still institutionalized. So you institutionalized or you're dead. That's what's acceptable in society when you have any type of issue going on with you. And I'm here to tell you that's not the case. It can't be the case. It can't continue to be the case. We can't allow that to be the case. It cannot continue to happen. It can't happen. For the ladies that will show up, because ain't not one here, which is funny. For the ladies that will show up, understand your man, our men are reflections of us. We birth them, we bring life to them, and vice versa. We are a reflection of each other. What we don't like in the opposite, we need to look at ourselves and see what part of that is us. What's going on, cousin? Thank you for being here, loved one. I appreciate you. We need to do some real self reflection. We need to do some real self healing, some real being honest with who we are, what we are, and why we are. We have to allow ourselves, and I'm talking to the women right now, we have to allow ourselves to get to the point to say, you know what? These men out here that I keep saying ain't no good, they might be no good because of me. I say that about my son. Whatever he's gone through, I have to take some type of responsibility for that because I birthed him. I raised him. Whatever was going on with my life at the time, he got impacted by that. Women have to be accountable for what they do or do not do, particularly when they're raising sons. Because if you don't like these men out here, you saying there ain't no good men out here, ain't no good men out here, and you got a son, what is that saying? What is that saying about your son? That child that you raise, these men that we keep putting out in the world, we're causing a disservice. We are causing a disservice to you all, and it's just not fair. Again, it's not. I'm not beating up on women, and I'm not babysitting men. I'm just giving you the facts. I'm giving you the information. Men suffer way harder emotionally and spiritually than women because there's no outlet for them. Women will say that men forget everything. That's far from the truth. Men remember everything. They may temporarily forget things that are more important to the woman, but when it comes down to traumatic experiences, they remember everything. They don't speak on it, but they remember everything. What's going on, Anthony? I'll read your comment in a moment, but thank you for being here. I appreciate you. This is why a lot of men have difficulties in relationships, getting in them, staying in them, and being committed to them because of trauma that has happened to them previously that they cannot forget. They become easily triggered. They become disassociative. There's a disorder, I think it's dissociative disorder. There's an amnesia with that dissociative amnesia. What that is a condition where the trauma is so great within a person that they forget everything else. They forget. They forget who they are. They forget the simple things. They'll try to forget the trauma itself, but once it's in your subconscious, it's there. It doesn't go anywhere. It's still there. So when you get to a point, or if you get to a point of being disassociatively, that's not a word, but amnesia to that point, that's a problem. Because this is where people start looking and creating their own identities. They'll move to different states and countries or whatever and become somebody else because they've completely forgotten who they were. But their trauma and not being able to heal from their trauma, not being able to speak about their trauma will cause that. One of the things I heard, I think it was Chance the rapper, say was that men are forced to play multiple roles. They're forced into, I think he said that, they're forced to play multiple roles. And in doing so, they lose their own identity. So that might have been him, that might have been somebody else. But they lose their own identity. Every time they wake up and go outside, before they go outside, let me just give you this process. Before a man goes outside, he has to think about what he's going to put on, what is his hair looking like. And I'm not talking about just because nothing to do with vanity. But once he steps outside, now he's being seen. He's being seen by everybody. This has nothing to do with vanity, nothing. But the way he looks, the way he dresses, the words he says to whomever are being scoped. He can say one wrong thing. His energy got to be so neutral no matter what's going on with him. Because if he got a slight incline in his energy and he approaches somebody or somebody approaches him or passes him or whatever and feels uncomfortable, even just a smidgen, there's a chance that a person is either going to physically cause harm to him or put him in a situation to have harm caused to him. He's got to think about what he might say in the event of a certain scenario. He's got to create the scenario in his head first. He got to play that whole thing out first before he even go outside, just in case this thing happens. What's going on, Judah? Thank you for being here, loved one. I appreciate you. He's got to play out many scenarios. Like I say, he's got to wear multiple masks. He's got to play multiple roles. So each of those roles, each of those masks is responsible for a scenario, at least one scenario. What could be going on in his own mind? Okay, you talk about somebody with multiple personalities. Black men are forced to have them. You're forced into having multiple personalities, because if you have just one that's out of line with society, that one gonna get the rest of y'all locked up or killed. And it sounds funny, but it's so serious. We have to be cognizant of what's going on with you. You all have to be cognizant of what's going on with you. We have to care enough to look beyond the surface of things. It's not about what's going on right here. It's so much deeper than this right here. If you see it, that ain't the problem. If you hear it, that ain't the problem. It's the things that are not said. It's the things that you don't hear. The underlying things, those are the issues. We are so used to just dealing with things that are, like I said, on the surface. We'll ask a person, how you doing? They may say, I ain't doing too well. We'll say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, and keep it moving. Well, if you ask them how they're doing, find out why they're not doing so well. We don't do that. You not good. I'm sorry to hear that. All right, then. Come on now. This is the same thing our men have to deal with on a regular basis. You good, dog? I'm good. They ain't. You all right, babe? I'm good. They not. But in order either to keep the peace at home, keep the peace somewhat inside, keep the peace outside of their home, when they step outside, they got to put on the face. They got to put on the mask. They got to pick which character they're going to be right now. What's going on, Evie? Thank you for being here, loved one. I appreciate you. We don't understand as women. There's only so much that we can get because we're not men. We're not forced to think like men. We can't. I don't even know how that even came about. Think like a man. How? You can't. You can't. But there's so many things that men and young men have to deal with that a woman will never understand. But we need to be empathetic to that. We need to care enough about them to give a damn, to listen. Listen to the things that are being said, but listen to the things that are not being said. We're not paying attention. I don't know what that is there. But anyway, we need to be paying attention, and we're not. What's going on, Keisha? Thank you for being here, loved one. I appreciate you. We got to do better. If y'all want to call in 770-906-5271, 770-906-5271. See. Oh, okay. Okay. Mr. Research, there is no more Maya Angelou. Megan, the fake one, is the new Cicely Tyson to those daughters. Yes, guys are damaged. I counsel as well. That's what's up. That's what's up. So you got two counselors right here. Okay. That's another thing, that men won't seek counseling. Men won't seek counseling. What's going on, Clarence? Thank you, loved one, for being here. I appreciate you. Because one is in their mind, well, if I seek counseling, first of all, there has to be an admittance that something is wrong with me. So there's an ego fight, if you will. If you're seeking help, you have to admit that there's a problem. If you admit that there's a problem, then you're admitting to yourself that you're not perfect, you're not whole, you're not a man, perhaps in your own mind. You're not seeing that because you need help. You're seeing yourself as something less than because you need help. And then you might be concerned, well, if I get help and somebody sees me get help, I'm gonna be made fun of. I'm gonna get ostracized. Somebody's gonna pull me out the crowd. They're gonna, make fun of me. Whatever the case is, it's so many things, so many reasons why y'all don't. The number one reason is that y'all don't trust people. Men have difficulties trusting, especially trusting somebody with giving them their information about themselves. I mean, they got to open up to a stranger or even somebody they know. Open up, be completely vulnerable with somebody and trust them with that information. Trust them that they're not going to use it against them as a weapon that's not going to be thrown back up in their face, that they're not going to use it to manipulate to get something out of them, whatever the case is. There's no trust. Why? Because you have females and males who have broken that, who have utilized the information for their own good, for their own benefit. So the ones who really need it won't ask for it because they're afraid. Now, would they say they're afraid? No. So that's another issue. Now they got fear on top of that. Do you understand how things keep piling? They keep piling on top of one another. They don't go away. And then we wonder why there ain't no good men out here, because we ain't making none. We're not producing any. We're not allowing them to just be. We're not encouraging them to be that. We're not saying, you know what, you're not feeling okay today? That's okay. It's okay that you're not feeling all right today. Would you like to talk about it? What can I do to help you? How can I be some peace to you? I'm your ear. If you just need me to listen, I'm that. If you need a shoulder, I got two. You need a lap, I got that. We have to make it where they are able to trust, where they are able to be okay with their own vulnerability, let alone express that to anybody. We need them. You are needed. I've said this many times before, but today I need to say it again. Men, you are needed. You are appreciated. You are respected. See, all that love, ladies, we talk about I love you. They don't care nothing about I love you. What they need is I respect you. I respect you first. And in that respect shows love, shows the application of truth. In that respect, you show the application of truth. There are plenty of good men, absolutely. They on my feed right now. I know plenty. But again, society says the only way they can be somewhat okay is if we lock them up. We just gonna lock them up. Or we gonna give them some drugs. That's what we gonna do. We're gonna give them some drugs. Then they'll be all right. They'll be controlled and okay. We'll make them puppets. That way they'll be okay. They'll act a certain way. Well, we don't want you to act. We want you to be. We don't want you to have to pretend. We don't want you to have to keep wearing different masks. We don't want you to have to figure out which role you're going to play at this moment. I can't say today because every moment is different. Every moment is different. Can you imagine having to and I'm talking to the ladies, can you imagine having to constantly think about what you are going to be right now, who you're going to be right now, every damn moment, having to play out scenarios that could possibly happen before you even step outside your door? You know how many scripts they got to remember? In a moment's time, not a day, in a moment's time, they are the epitome of having to flip the script. That's them because they have no choice. What's going on, Devin? Thank you for being here, loved one. I appreciate you. We got to do better. They have to think before they do everything. Women, we got it so easy, it's almost ridiculous and shameful. Women will say whatever the hell they want. We want. I'm a woman. Say whatever we want to whomever we want, however we want, and expect there to be no consequence. None. All right, loved one. Great vibrations outside. Thanks for being here, love. I appreciate you. Men can't do that. Men can't say what they want at any time to whomever they want to without a consequence. They have to think about that first. And even more so now, because there's a possibility that they say something to the wrong person. And it could be anything. They could say hello to somebody that ain't feeling any energy and they feel threatened by that. So what's getting ready to happen? That individual is going to put that man in a predicament because they're not comfortable with his energy. So he's going to have to fight now to stay a free man. He's going to have to fight to stay out of jail. He'll have to fight to stay alive. He got to figure out now which character do I have to be real quick in order to get out of this. It's constantly, every time he opens his mouth, it's a new character. And they're all they're all there to defend him. They're all there to protect him. That's sad. That's sad that he has to go through that. And then we're not considering the emotional health of him. We're not considering where he is spiritually. We want him to be all good all the time. It's not going to happen. It doesn't happen that way. And it's unfair to even put that ridiculousness on him. As women, we ain't good all the time. We're not happy all the time. How can we expect our men to be that? Why do we expect them to continue to put on a different face for us? That ain't cool. It's unfair and it's unhealthy. We're losing our men. Do you understand? Do you overstand that? Do you overstand? We are losing our men on so many levels. They don't know what to do with the thoughts they have in their head. They don't know what to do with the emotions they're experiencing. There's nowhere for them to go. They can't run from themselves and they can't run and get no help. They can't do nothing. They're trapped inside their own selves. They're inside themselves wanting to find themselves, but no, if they find themselves, those themselves is also going to be condemned. So no matter what they do, they're condemned. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, damned. That's so messed up. So what this was today was, as a woman, as a Black woman, I see you. I just want to tell you that I see you. I hear you. I feel you. I respect you. I love you. I protect you. I will fight for you. Women, we must do the same. We want them to do these things for us. If we're not doing these things for them as well, there will be no more of them to do these things for us. We have to do these things for each other. It's not one-sided. We can't expect him to give us the world and then we taking half of his world away from him. We can't expect him to do everything we want when we want it. And when he asks for one thing, what? I ain't doing that. Really? We can't be that way. I'm gonna read these comments. Anthony, you just said, I see women as our protection, mostly from other women. Okay, right. Y'all said what's missing in our community is commitment. Absolutely. There are plenty of good men. Yes, there are. Absolutely. Speaking truth and power. Yes, indeed, sir. Man should say, oh, true that man. Oh, you said a mouthful. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. If you all have any questions, comments, or concerns, if you want to call in, feel free, call in 770-906-5271, 770-906-5271. Anthony says, men need women they can trust. I know in a lot of cases, men share their vulnerable selves with certain women, and a lot of these women can't wait to expose them. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I just think women have to get back to being loving and nurturing. Absolutely. Now, okay, so I'm going to say this as well, because what you have to also know, even if you don't accept it as a truth, don't change the fact, there is a cosmic and spiritual shift occurring. And in that, the energies, the masculine and feminine energies have shifted. So what we talked about those energies before, so I'm not going to get too deep into it, but with it, the masculine energy has been dominant most of the time, and it's very aggressive and competitive. It can be abusive, but it's also, go get it done. That one is a true F your feelings. Okay. It's logical. It's just that there ain't no loving, nurturing, none of that energy in the masculine. Okay. And I'm not saying the man, it's the masculine energy. That's what that is. It's this, and that's it. There's no in between. This, matter of fact, that's it. The feminine energy is completely the opposite, where it's more creative, it's more loving and nurturing, giving, protective, that kind of thing. It's got some in between, it's got some leeway. You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening. But how it's affecting men and women is that men now are experiencing more of the feminine energy, and women are experiencing more of the masculine energy. So you'll find where a lot of women are doing what is typically known to be a male activity or behavior, particularly in relationships. So where you have women, where women used to be, well, I want to be with one man, I want a husband, I want to stay home and be a loving wife, whatever. And I'm just using that, that type of thing. She's like, now it's like, I'm out, I'm finna go hustle. I'm in hustle mode. I'm finna hit these streets, get this bank, get these bags. I'm gonna come home. You home? Because I'm coming home and hit that real quick, and then I'm out. You know what I'm saying? You ain't home, bet I'm gonna go get it from whoever I can get it from. It's a hit it and quit it. I'm out. I ain't tying. I'm not committed to you. I'm not tying my relationship, my feelings up with you. Is that okay? That was the typical masculine energy. So now the female has that. The woman has that. The man, on the other hand, is like, well, why, she tripping, and now he wanna. He's more like her. Well, she don't want to be with me. She don't want to touch me no more, and she ain't never home, and she don't want to be committed, and y'all understand? It's men have their energies have become softer, and it's not saying that you're not a man. The energies have become softer, and that is because of the shift. So it's like the things that women are now doing that men don't like, y'all need to recognize that this is the same energy that y'all gave to the women. This is the same energy that you caused her to experience. She ain't thinking about it now. Now it's just what it is, but it's happening. Now you're getting that back. So what you don't like in these women, look at yourselves, check yourselves, because somewhere down the line, that was you. So what's happening is things are beginning to balance themselves out. You see what you don't like, that was what you did. Okay, bet, let me not do that. You got to correct. But people are not looking at that in a way to correct it. They're looking at, oh, well, F you then. That's not what this is about. Correct it. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. As far as you all's emotional health, you're suffering. And you're suffering because one, you're in silence. You're suffering because you're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable. You're suffering because you're not able to trust anybody with what's going on with you. If you have to talk to another brother, do that. If you have a female partner that you can talk to, do that. If you need to go seek some therapy, do that. Counseling, whatever you would like to call it, tell your business to a stranger, whatever it is, do that. I tell you all the time, I'm available. I do this. I'm a counselor. I do this. Okay. This is what I do. This is who I am. If you don't want to come to me, that's fine. Seek some help. Seek somebody that you can confide in and release. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to heal. It's time for you all to start healing, no longer dealing with. Your emotional health is everything. If you ain't no good, we ain't no good. If the emotional health of the man is shot, that means his family is shot. That means his community is shot. That's it. This is what we're looking at. Y'all having to deal with too many things not to find a way to be healthy. You got too many things that you have to worry about every day not to find a way to be healthy. I'm so sad for you all. I'm so sad for that. I'm definitely doing my part to assist. And as women, we have to do our part to assist, not to assist in the trauma, assist in the healing from the trauma. They need peace too. They also need to be corrected where they need to be corrected, but they need balance. We all need balance. And this is what tonight was about, period. I say it wasn't necessarily any one particular topic per se, but your emotional state, your spiritual state is everything. It matters. Take care of it. Please and thank you. Take care of it. If you need help, you know how to reach me. I'm here. If you just need to talk, you know how to reach me. I'm here. Respect my time, but I'm here. That's really it. Like I said, again, I just want to say, remind you, no matter what you're dealing with, no matter what's coming your way, no matter what you have to focus on, no matter what kind of pain you are experiencing, no, what kind of hurt, disappointment, whatever, that does not take away from you being a man. If you feel like you need to cry, then you do so. If you need to shout, then do so. But speak what's going on in your head. That is a law. That's part of your healing process, is to speak it out loud. You have to speak it out loud, and don't even concern yourselves with how you think somebody is going to react to you healing you. That's the part. You can't be concerned if I break down and cry. Somebody's going to use the fact that I broke down and cried, that this is part of my healing myself. They're going to try to use that against me. How? See, that part right there, that's ego. How can anybody use the fact that you're healing yourself as a weapon against you? That's strength. That's powerful. Use that power. Use the power that you are to heal yourself. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you stronger. I'm going earring fell out. It makes you stronger. Use that. We need you healthy, not just looking like you're healthy. Being healthy, thinking healthy, experiencing healthy, transferring your energy healthy. Do you realize if your mind, your emotional state is so messed up from trauma, trauma lies in your body, it's in your organs, it's in you. If you don't correct that, every time you emit semen, every time you emit semen into a woman, I'm going to leave it at that. You are transferring everything you got going on into her. And if she becomes pregnant, she is now transferring that to your seed. It's important that you are emotionally healthy. Please do something about it. You are needed. You are respected. You are loved. You are men. You are God's. And I'm not going to take that part back. You are God's. Conduct yourself accordingly. I love you on purpose. With purpose. I will see you next time. Leaving you with that.